Hello. So let me ask you a question. Do you wave with your left hand or do you wave with your right hand? And if you're a teacher, sometimes that can be confusing when we're teaching our young children. So I am a little bit late with jumping on Facebook Live, but I have a little story to tell you. Speaking of not knowing your right hand from your left hand or your left from your right, this morning I was so excited to do my Facebook Live because I have 3 tips for you today when you're teaching your young students about understanding a few things about their left hand and their right hand and their finger numbers and things that are going up and things that are going down and sound getting higher and lower and so on. So I planned my Facebook Live. I even did my Facebook Live at 10 o'clock this morning, as promised, except that I just sent the whole video to a non-existing page. So here I am again. Hopefully you're joining me this time. Yay! Glad to see some of you are on the page with me. So today you may want to grab a pencil, but I'm about to share some really fun things with you today. So this is the Ultimate Music Theory Beginner A book, and it is from the Beginner ABC series. So Sheila McKibben-Uren and I are co-authors, and we've written the Ultimate Music Theory program, and I'm super excited to share some little fun tricks. Now, if you've never had a student that has never struggled with knowing their right hand from their left hand and has never wondered why our finger numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, if we're always counting from left to right, then either you haven't been teaching very long or you've just been really lucky, because eventually we all get those students that get confused. Now, here's an interesting thing. Sheila McKibben-Uren, who, as I mentioned, is the co-author with me, is actually dyslexic. And so she sees things differently than I do, which is really kind of fun because that's probably why we're such a great team. We see things from different angles and it really helps us to write and help our students. So I see that we have some little hellos there. I'm not sure if I can see my comments or if I cannot see my comments. I'm just kind of checking things out, but I don't know if I can, but anyway, I'll see if I can. Nope. Show. Okay, well, that says I love you. So that's kind of cute. Anyway, let me tell you about these 3 things. So the first thing is in the beginner series. So this is for little children, ages of probably 6 to 10 or so. So I want to go over a couple of pages with you. And we're talking about a lesson 1 today. And then I've got some great tips for you and a link for you to get even more details on this. So here's the interesting thing. So if you know your left hand from your right hand, and we're looking at page 4 and page 5, I want you to see if you notice anything. Notice anything? Well, when we're talking about the left hand, notice that it's on the left side of the page. And when we're talking about the right hand, notice it's on the right side of the page. So here's a little tip for you. When you're doing this exercise with your student, this is page 4 and page 5 in lesson 1, tip number 1 is not only do we want to engage in the act of writing, but we want to always associate it to the keyboard. So you could actually have them sitting at the piano doing their workbook page at the keyboard so they can actually see, oh, this is my left hand and the other one is my right hand. The other thing they can do is actually put their hand right on top of the hand like this. So as they're writing their finger numbers in here, they can actually see, oh, that's my finger number. It's kind of cool. So finger 1, thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you're there. Yay. So this is finger 1. Finger 2, what is finger 2? Well, it's the pointer finger, but it's also the tickle finger. I am super ticklish, so my students know if they even point their pointer finger at me, I will just start giggling because I'm so ticklish. Finger 3 is the tall one, so it's the biggest one in the family. And finger number 4, they call it the ring finger, although in my case, I like to have lots of rings. So you might say, well, that is the ring finger, but Glory likes lots of rings. Bling, bling. You can call me Bling for short. And then, of course, we have baby finger 5, right, which is the little pinky finger. So when we're doing these 2 pages together, left hand and right hand, we want to do, tip number 1 was associate what we see on the page to how we would implement that at the keyboard. So now students can easily see this is the left hand, this is the right hand. Now, what's an interesting exercise in this, once they learn their finger numbers, is that you may notice that we are going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stepping up with the left hand, and fingers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stepping up with the right hand. So even though both fingers are stepping up, notice that it's different finger numbers, right? So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's tip number 1. On the next page, are you excited? Drum roll. Now, this is a great little tip for you here. So again, you see the left hand on the left side of the page and the right hand on the right side of the page. Super cool, right? So now what we're looking at is we're creating patterns. So when we're looking at the patterns, we can see that we're going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stepping up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stepping down. So here's tip number 2. When you are doing this exercise, it's really important for students to learn that you can be stepping up or stepping down anywhere on the keyboard. So for example, if I was going to do the little pattern 2, 3, 4, stepping down, sometimes students associate stepping down with getting lower in sound, which is true, but it doesn't mean that it has to be in the low register on the keyboard. You can be stepping down and be up high in the register, even though the sound is still going down. So tip number 2 is use this exercise to start anywhere on the keyboard. So I may start down low and then move up, get higher. But either way, each one is still going from high sounds down to low sounds. I mean, think about it. Learning the piano, our finger numbers, if that's not confusing enough, because we go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if we're moving in the same direction. But on top of that, our music notation is in a straight line, and then the notes are going vertically up and down, and the sound goes to the right to get higher and to the left to get lower, and then our ear can hear the dynamics of getting louder and getting softer. And sometimes students also associate loud sounds with way down low on the keyboard and soft sounds with way up high on the keyboard. So we really want to help them understand that there's lots of different places to have high sounds and low sounds depending on the stepping up pattern or stepping down pattern. So does that make sense? Or are you completely confused? Okay, awesome. So now that was step number 2. Number 3, and I really love this. When Sheila and I were creating the Beginner ABC series, we wanted to make sure to have a review at the end of every lesson. So there's 12 lessons in the book, and also sight reading and ear training. Because did you know that over 50% of students quit their music lessons within the first 2 years? And the number one reason is because they think it's too hard. And the reason they think it's too hard is because usually they just don't have a good foundation in music theory. And then once they realize they can't just memorize everything or play by rote, they just kind of want to play their old favorites and not move forward. So we are providing them with the essential tools of learning the language of music so they can feel successful and be successful in their sight reading and in their ear training. So here in the review test, or I should say review page, because it's not a test. There's no marks given, but it is a review. And you can go back and look up the answers just to make sure if you have any questions. That's not cheating, that's called studying. So we want to make sure to build those confident musicians. Yay, I wish I could see the comments. Oh, there's Sheila. Yay, hi Sheila. I was just talking about you. Your ears must be burning. So anyway, Sheila shared with me that when we're doing these exercises, because they're just for fun review, is we actually have our students putting their hands right on the page, and it really tickles when you trace your fingers. I know for me it's really ticklish. Don't forget to write the date, because can you imagine that just for that one day, those little tiny hands were really just that little. So it's a super fun thing to do. Now, in the sight and ear training page, there's a lot of fun things that you can do. So first of all, let's talk about listening. So when we want to develop the ear, we want to really help students listen. So in this particular exercise, they are listening to whether the pattern is going up or it's going down. So Sola, here she is hanging out with me. And so it's really fun. Kids love our little Sola and Tito. So Sola is going to be way up high for this exercise, and Tito is going to be hanging up way down low. So now they would simply listen as you play. That's going up, correct? So then you would circle Sola. And if the pattern was going down, then you could circle going down. Now, did you notice that I played both patterns in the same register? So it wasn't about that one's going high and that one's going low, because in fact, you can play the same pattern going up or going down in the same place. So we're listening for that. So now we've got our listening, we're developing our ear training, and now it's time to do our sight reading. So now in this one, students are learning to see that they're going to use finger 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we're going to use our left hand, and we're either going to go stepping up high or stepping down low, and they get to pick. So now they are going to be the teacher. Is it fun to be a teacher or what, right? Because you get to be the boss. So my students love to be the teacher. So now they get to pick and they get to play, and I have to listen. So sometimes they'll even hide their hands. I'll do that for you. You can just type in the chat box, am I stepping up or am I stepping down? Which one was it, Miss Sheila? Hi, Sheila. It is, in fact, stepping up. So then I would say it's stepping up, and then the student will engage in circling it. Did you know, a little fun fact here, that when you engage in the act of writing, you actually retain 30 to 40% more than just through the visual or auditory, regardless of your learning style, whether you're visual, auditory, or kinesthetic learner. When you engage in the act of writing, you retain 30 to 40% more information. That's why it's important. You know, sometimes teachers might think, well, it's okay. I don't need a theory book. I just teach it at the piano. And that's true. You do teach theory at the piano, and everyone teaches theory. Even if people say, I don't teach theory, I teach piano. But you really can't do one without the other. But the important thing is that we also want to engage in the act of writing, because that's how we retain that extra information. So all of our tips were, number 1, always identify the left hand and the right hand and use the book at the keyboard so that they can associate what they see with what they hear, right? On our very first page. So number 1 was take your theory book up to the piano, number left and right. Tip number 2 was to play all of the exercises at various places on the keyboard. So when you're going to go stepping down, you can go up higher or even higher, right? And you can use different notes. Don't always have to use the same notes. And then the third one was to engage in sight reading and ear training. Now, I have some really fun news for you, because Sheila McKibben-Uren, who writes 99.9% of the blogs, and I love her blog. She is such an amazing writer. They're so fun. I'm actually going to share the link with you right here. And Sheila has just written, I hope that's showing up for you. Sheila has just written a blog on the Ultimate Music Theory Beginner A Workbook for lesson number 1. And you're actually going to see some live videos of Sheila with her students engaged. And one of them is only 4 years old. And she's so adorable, and she's just learning about her steps and learning about her right hand and her left hand. And sometimes it just is interesting to see our students actually engaged in doing these activities. As teachers, you know that what you read about in a book isn't always what happens in the classroom, right? When we're teaching, because every student has their own personality, and we need to teach each student in their own learning style. And I'll be talking more about visual, auditory, and kinesthetic learners as I continue with my Facebook Lives. I want to give a big shout out to Sarah Campbell from Upbeat Piano Teachers. She's my coach. I love her. I've been working with Sarah for a while on launching our Facebook Lives. I will be here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so hopefully you'll join me. And I look forward to seeing you then. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to put them in the chat box. And I'll be going over a few things every week that I think will be just fun little teaching tips. If you have any questions, make sure that you put them in the chat box so that I can address them in one of the upcoming Facebook Lives. So make sure to check out Sheila's blog. There's lots of great little tips in there and a couple of really cute videos that I know you'll enjoy. Don't forget to grab your Ultimate Music Theory. They are all now available. The Beginner ABC series, you can get the full set. Each workbook has got 12 lessons in it, including the review, plus the sight reading and ear training. So we're really building all of those musicianship skills. And you probably guessed that I'm just learning. I'm a newbie to my Facebook Lives. So hopefully that's good. I still haven't figured out how to see the comments, even though I would love to give a shout out. I've got a couple of thumbs up here. Oh, stepping up, up, up. They, Sheila, stepping up, up, up. I see that I can actually share some comments in here, so that's kind of cool. Sheila says hi. I'm just totally playing with you right now. Ultimate Music Theory, I got a thumbs up. Yay! Anyway, have a really musical day. I'm off to teach, as I'm sure you are shortly. So have an amazing day, and I will see you on Thursday. Facebook Live, Ultimate Music Theory. Teach with passion.